Yo, what is going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Erskmac, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media Channel, one of the hottest up-and-coming black comic book YouTube channels on this side of the Dakotaverse, and another edition of Saturday Morning Comics. Man, I hope you guys are doing exceptionally well today. I hope you guys had an awesome week. I had an awesome week. And I'm going into the next week, and next week is my birthday. So definitely going to be celebrating my birthday. Now, yes, you will be getting a video or two next week. Now, I'm not going to be completely off the grid, okay? I'm not going to be completely off the grid. But I will say you will get Saturday Morning Comics next Saturday, but that one will be pre-recorded and that one will premiere. However, I will be watching that premiere with you guys. So any questions that you have when it comes to me or what I'm talking about next Saturday, I would definitely respond to you guys. So I'm gonna be with you, but not with you like I am right now, you know, that kind of thing. So again, I hope you guys had an awesome week. I didn't have a chance to go to my LCS this week. It's been a chaotic week. But I did make some purchases, like, you know, some digital purchases. I did get Deadpool #1. Okay book. I did read it. Okay book. I did read Cyclops #1, and yes, I will be covering Cyclops at some point in time, but there's some other news, man. There's some other news out there that I just wanted to cover that kind of overshadows Cyclops, and it needs to be talked about, right? It needs to be talked about. And hey, yo, Mr. Alkubulan, what's going on, man? Yeah, we are going to talk about that, bro. We are definitely going to talk about that. And obviously, you've seen the thumbnail. We're going to talk about Tubi and Cartoon Network starting March 1st. I cannot wait for that. But I got to tell you guys, got to do a little bit of house cleaning. Now, if you are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. And when they come to that notification bell, that drop-down menu that says all, you select all. That way you get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. You can follow us on Threads as well. Like I'm pretty much active on Threads, talking to other comic book YouTube channels, talking to, you know, regular folk like you and me, talking to comic book writers. I'm all over the place on Threads, man, but it's a good place though. It's a good place. Yo, what's going on, Derpy? What's happening, Derpy, man? Appreciate you. And we also have a Discord server as well. So if you want to join our Discord server, if you want to talk anime, there's a channel for that. You want to talk pro wrestling, there's a channel for that. Manga, comics, definitely there's a channel for that. And also you get updates on our content as well. Now, we also have a Patreon. Our Patreon there's two different tiers. There's $5 tier and a $15 tier. With that tier, $5 tier, you get the bi-monthly issue of Orange Phoenix magazine. Now, we did take a hiatus. I will tell you that. Total transparency. We did take a hiatus. We will be coming back soon. And we talk about everything of geek culture in that magazine, in that digital magazine. So we want to come back stronger. The magazine did very well. We just took a little bit of a break, and we was running ourselves thin. We was definitely running ourselves thin. We was going to like different conventions and stuff like that, like going to the artist alley. So we might transition, but you also get these videos, not the live ones. You get the videos that I put out on our YouTube channel. You actually get those first. If you're on the Patreon before it airs on YouTube, typically between 48 24 hours earlier than that. But Discord, definitely want you guys to join Discord. That's free 99, y'all. That's free 99. That way you can talk about all the things that we're talking about, further conversations and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you guys, obviously every Saturday morning comics that we have, I highlight independent comics, right? Because we always talk about where are the good stories at, and you know, there's good stories outside of the big two. There's stories outside of the big two, and outside of DC and Marvel, there's Image Comics, there's Mad Cave, there's Edition Press, there's Oni. You know, there's so many Dark Horse, so many independent comic book publishers that are out there that they have some great stories, right? But this week is going to be a little bit different. As you notice, obviously Black History Month. Now, I do cover Black comics all throughout the year, so If you haven't checked out the Dr. Voodoo lineup, because I had a Fan's Choice, and Fan's Choice chose Dr. Voodoo. I do have a playlist for Dr. Voodoo. I do have a playlist for Mr. Terrific Year One, which I really did enjoy that book. I really did enjoy that book. So from that standpoint, I will say this time is a little bit different. This time it is a manga, y'all. This is a manga, and shout out to. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. 1 second. So, the Independent Comic of the Week, or manga of the week. You probably already checked it out. You probably seen it at conventions and stuff like that. It is Clock Striker. Now, if you're not familiar with Clock Striker, she is part of Saturday A.M. Now, this is by Frederick L. Jones and Isaka Galadima, and it's a story about the cast of a 12-year-old girl who dreams of becoming a smith, part warrior, badass, part engineer, and all-around problem solver. Now, the problems, smiths are usually not women, and even less so young black kids. So, selected as a striker apprentice to the enigmatic Phenomena Clock, one of the rare female smiths, and considered a loose cannon, Cass is determined to follow her dreams no matter how dangerous their ventures get. Now, I do have a little bit of Can you hear me? There we go. Somehow or another the volume dropped. So we back. Okay. Just give me one quick second here. I know we There we go. Back in the mix. All right, how y'all hear me now? We good? We good to go? Okay. All right, want to make sure we good. So, anyway, I do have this stuff out here for you guys. Pull that up. Yeah, we having a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't know why we're having technical difficulties on this Saturday morning. See, that's the thing, like, when it comes down to lives. Like, when we have live shows, man, you gotta very, very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. All right. Okay, so Clock Striker. I met Frederick Jones. I met Frederick Jones at a convention. And at this convention. There we go. There we go. So I met him at this convention, and he was telling me about Saturday A.M. So Saturday A.M. is a black-owned manga company, and there are several manga stories within Saturday A.M. So you know how they have like Shonen Jump, and in Shonen Jump you have Shonen Jump magazine, and you have these different like different manga chapters, and you can go through the magazine. Saturday A.M. is black owned, and it's just like that. And one of the things that stuck out to me was Clock Striker. So I read the first chapter of Clock Striker. Very good book. The vibes that it gave me was a little bit of Soul Eater and a little bit of let me think. It gave me some Soul Eater vibes, especially when it first came in, especially the introduction of Cast and Phenomena. And see if I can put out so this is Phenomena Clock, and her abilities, she only showed a little bit of her abilities. Now, she is super strong, right? She displays her super strength because she let Cass do most of the heavy lifting, because she is training Cass as a future smith. But one of the abilities that stood out to me was that the fact that she can stop time. Like, she can stop time. And you only saw a glimpse of that because at that point she was like, listen, don't you see the clock? It's like, it says 9 o'clock. And then the guy's eyes opens, and that is Cass there. So this is what I'm talking about. She said, I tire of your foolish bravado, little man. It's like, so tell me, what time is it? And so when she holds up a clock, he's still talking to her, but at the same time, the guy that, he held hostage was gone and he got punched in the face. So it is action-packed, and chapter 2 is the origin story on how Cass and Philomena met and why she is training. Now, the one thing you do need to know about this book is that there was a great war. There was a cataclysmic war that transpired, and the Smiths basically are looking for all these various weapons, and when they're looking for these various weapons, they're going to nullify it or just straight out destroy it, because if these weapons get in the wrong hands again, it will cause another war or a catastrophe. So they're on these missions to destroy these weapons. And obviously, when it comes down to like shonen type manga, it starts off simplistic, right? It starts off like, okay, you just going from place to place, you destroying these weapons, but you already know how manga rolls. You already know how the story rolls when it comes to manga. It gets more complicated as the story progresses. It's not as cut and dry as it once was. It was just an introductory, and that what chapter 1 is an introductory, because like with Soul Eater, when we were introduced to Maka, right? Okay, you're trying to collect these Kishin, you're trying to get a certain number so you can become, a Meister or whatever the case may be, or put a soul as a death site. That was the goal, right? But it got more complicated as the stories progressed. Now, mind you, Soul Eater ended on like a bad note. Clock Striker is not that. It's definitely not that. I definitely take some good time in telling the story. And one thing you got to know about manga is that you got to grab the person's attention like right offhand. You got to grab the person's attention immediately. If you don't grab that person's attention immediately, then it falls by the wayside. And I heard so many horror stories, especially back in like the 90s and early 2000s, when it comes down to manga, is that you put so much time and effort and creating a chapter and creating a story and doing the panels, like burning like midnight oil, burning crazy hours. And then, you go through this process, and whether you get selected, and then you get put in Shonen Jump, if it's a shonen manga, obviously. And then depending on how many people gravitate to that volume or gravitate to that chapter, it determines whether it's going to get, serialization. Obviously One Piece serialized, right? It's all over the place. Like a lot of people aim to be One Piece. Like back then, even if you were running like your manga chapters, and if you dropping like weekly, man, you wasn't getting any sleep. You got to hire your staff. You got to get sleep whenever you can. Now, there's a perfect adaptation to the lifestyle of a mangaka, and that is Bakuman. Bakuman is actually on Hulu, and it is a anime about a manga artist and writer trying to get their manga serialized. And they went through a process where certain things got canceled, and they had to think about new stories, and there was a point where one of the characters went to the hospital, you know what I mean? And there's more story to that, but that's the centerpiece of the story. Now, I don't think that's what this is now, because obviously we have Saturday AM, right? And obviously you on your own time. You don't have like deadlines or whatever the case would be. Not saying you don't have deadlines, but it's a little bit less of a stress. Another prime example, Tagashi from Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. Like, he has back problems. Like, he is down and out for like months, maybe a few years at a time. And then when he comes back, he writes a new chapter of Hunter x Hunter, because Hunter x Hunter has not yet finished, and the story of Hunter x Hunter is so vast. And I think from what I read, that he has written like the ending or different endings for Hunter x Hunter, just in case something happens to him. But like, from what I read, he was laying on his back, like drawing the manga out. And Tagashi is actually married to the creator of Sailor Moon, so that's like a dynamic duo right there. But it's a rough life. It is definitely a rough life, but not now though. I think things are made easier for mangaka, And back to Saturday AM. Now, here's the origin story of Saturday AM. And now, if you want to go to Saturday AM website, it's saturday-am.com. And it says, lifelong anime, manga, and pop culture enthusiast Frederick Jones. He loved the more adult-style action, detailed character designs, and outrageous plot lines that all went far beyond his beloved American superhero comics and cartoons of the 70s and 80s. Now, interest existed in a time where a comic book fan was nowhere near as hip as it is today, and thus feeling a little weird and out of mainstream was a typical reaction. Now, it says great properties like Mobile Suit Gundam, Claremont Byrne era of X-Men, Legion of Superheroes, and Super Friends became an inevitable part of pop culture education for the people during that era. So nowadays, the fun of comic book anthologies, interests, and diverse IP, and even Saturday morning cartoons has become far less common. And it's funny about it because we actually going to talk about Saturday morning cartoons today. And it says, after a decade plus career as an executive in the video game industry, Frederick decided to finally start his own company focused on his two loves, anime, manga, and new intellectual property. My Footprint Entertainment was created to assist in developing and marketing new manga concepts for the up-and-coming creators from around the world, utilizing social media, discovering a new crop of creators who have grown up with a love of anime, manga, and could replicate the aesthetic, but new artists who were interested in and were themselves diverse. And Mr. Akabulan says, I'm in class, I have to replay this. Hey, man, hey, do what you do, man. Get your lesson. Get your lesson, bro. Get your lesson, man. Fully understand. I fully appreciate your support. And it says that was becoming quite efficient. Now, since 1980s, anime and manga has grown globally for the racial diversity and had actually diminished. Characters like Claudia Grant of Macross and Robotech become invisible, while characters who look distinctly European were more and more prevalent. So it didn't take long to discover popular creators and new comics like Apple Black from Nigeria, Gunhill from Denmark, and Bully Eater from the USA. Saturday AM was born as a vehicle for new properties that would enable us to not only capture a look of classic comic book anthology magazine, but likewise recreate the aesthetic and feel of manga by serializing content on a bi-weekly basis. To that end, Saturday AM has become the far stronger brand than we could have ever imagined. Now, I'm gonna tell you, so these are some of the books right here. So Apple Black is by Dunze Agugo. And it says, Sano, a young sorcerer blessed with arm of God, struggles to fulfill his prophesied destiny as a savior of the world, fearing he may be the opposite of despite ominous vision steering him down darker paths. So, like, this is the first book. This is Apple Black. This is Apple Black. Obviously, you've seen Clock Striker. And the massively multiplayer world of Ghosts. Now, here's what you didn't know. Here's another part of this that you didn't know. Saturday AM is creating a fighting game that's going to premiere on Steam. TBD. It's going to be premiering on Steam. And it's called Battle Manga. So these are basically all the characters from Saturday AM are basically getting involved in a tag fighting game. So that is pretty much is unprecedented there. Now, I mean, obviously there's some graphic novels here. These are all of the characters here from Saturday AM. Now, Soul Beat, I have yet to read Soul Beat, but it's by Morgan Walker, and it says Dante Alphonse never believed in facing consequences for his actions until a fateful encounter opens his eyes and he decides to change his ways for good. Of course, with so many sins to absolve and the forces of evil standing in the way, the road to redemption is all but impossible. Too bad for the devil. He picked the wrong sinner to mess with. Aided by a heavenly messenger and a mysterious new power to light his way, the 70s loving retired pro boxer will attempt an impossible journey, discover the secrets of the afterlife, and ultimately show the dead what it really means to have a soul. Man, so I'm definitely going to be reading this. And one thing you also need to know about this is that they have magazines. They have digital magazine issues, basically kind of like Shonen Jump. So I don't know if you can, yeah, so okay, let's see if we can get into it. Yeah, so basically you get chapters of this of each of the stories. And it gives you the titles, man. So how about that, man? How about that? So you got a black-owned manga website with different books, different manga from everywhere else from around the world, from Nigeria, from France, from the USA, from Denmark. It's all out there for yours for the picking. So if you want to subscribe to Saturday AM, all you got to do is go to Saturday AM or Saturday-am.com and register and sign up. And if you see some books that you like, go ahead and check out those books and check out the magazines, man. Check out those magazines. Check out those magazines. So definitely highly recommend those books. I really do love Clock Striker, though. Clock Striker is very, very fun. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Cass is the first black female-led manga story. I want to say that. Like, I want to say that that's the first. So if you really want to dive deep into that, you definitely want to support. Definitely want to support Frederick Jones. Definitely want to support the other mangaka that is out there writing and the artists that are out there writing. So Saturday-am.com. Go ahead and check that out. And also, there is an app. There is a phone app. So you can actually, register on your phone and actually read the manga through your phone. And they're also on Amazon. You can actually get these physical books. You can actually get the physical books as well. I went to an event. I met Frederick, and I got a signed poster from him for Clock Striker. I got the first volume of Clock Striker because that character really stood out to me and really grabbed my attention right off hand. So highly recommend that book. So something came to my attention at the last minute. Now, I mean, like, something came to my attention yesterday, right? Because I was going to talk about the indie comic of the week, and I was going to talk about the main event, which is like Tubi, but something else caught my attention. Shout out to Blur Without Fear. I heard rumors, and these rumors are confirmed. Remember what I was telling you guys about the importance of Milestone and why the Dakota incident, the new history of DC, the Dakota incident is so important that you guys need to go out there and support. And when I mean support, I mean sell this book out. Like, sell this book out. We talking Superman, Batman numbers, Wonder Woman numbers. That's the type of numbers that we're looking for. Okay. And we always say, why our stories not told as much, right? But this is a golden opportunity for a majority of, I wouldn't say the majority, but there's a good number of black writers and black artists that are writing and drawing the DC new history of Milestone or DC history with Dakota incident. But something nefarious happened in the past week. Someone at DC leaked the Dakota incident, and it was on the DC Infinite app. I have that app. Unfortunately, I did not see this, but it's on the DC Universe Infinite app where you can actually read DC Comics digitally. It was leaked and it stayed there for 2 hours, long enough for pirating sites to grab that book and put it on pirating sites. So, and I'm thinking to myself, how of all books, why this book is the one that gets leaked? Now, I feel like there's a little bit of, I always sense sabotage, and it looks really sus to me. It looks really sus to me. And it's like they're trying everything in their ability to torpedo this book when it gets released. It comes out February the 25th. It comes out February the 25th, and we want that 100K. We want those 100,000 copies sold. And it looking real sus with DC. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen and how serious this is. If this book doesn't sell well, and I've heard this from like so many people, like within the space, Milestone may cease to exist. Like they want static. Okay. They want static, but with static, they can get pennies on the dollar. If it doesn't sell well, it's like, nah, we're not going to charge you top dollar for that because it didn't do well. And then whatever plans that they have for the static, it's not going to be what you think static is. You know what I mean? And it's going to piss you off. So I think I know what needs to happen is that you guys need to go out to your LCS. You need to get as many copies of the New History of DC, Dakota Incident, and sell that bitch out. And then when you buy all the books, ask your LCS to order some more and buy those jokers up. Like, I feel like there's opportunities here. And one of the opportunities is there may be some kids that never read a comic book, or maybe interested in comic books. And this could be an opportunity, like in the community, like you could buy a bunch of books, the Dakota Incident, and give it to them and let them read it. And then they become interested in these milestone books. And then you can give them the older books and have them, you know what I mean? So there's a chance opportunity to serve the community. I already told you my plans. Like, I'm going to my LCS because there's 3 LCSs here, where I am. I'm going to the first one. I'm getting my book, the A cover, and I'm going to the second one, and I'm getting all the variant covers. And if allowed, I'm going to get some more copies of that book and ask to give it to people that haven't read a comic book in a while. That is the plan. We got to do our part. And I know what we're about to say. Even though DC did some sus shit, like they did some real sus shit, you're like, nah, well, we just ain't gonna buy the book. We're not gonna give them the satisfaction. That's what they want you to do. I feel like that's what they want you to do, because when we talk about the Dakota Incident, all right, just give me one quick second here. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen with you. Okay, so we back here, right? Look at these writers. Look at all these writers here. Look at all these artists. These are all the people that have fought tooth and nail to get this book out. Like, I don't think y'all understand the level of fight that these individuals, like, had to do. You know what I mean? So it will behoove us. Like, we win with our dollars. That's how we win this. Because then you become undeniable at this point. You become undeniable. And it was like, yo, we got to make more books. We need more Milestone. We need more Static. We need more Icon. We need more Rocket. We need more Blood Syndicate. We need more hardware. So that at that point, we don't want it to get another DC Power recharge. We don't want that. We don't want that, because you know what happened with that. We were advertised that we are going to get a series with the Power Company, and we never got the Power Company because their excuse is, well, that book didn't sell well. That book did not sell well. So we cannot give them the excuse. Now, if we do our part, and let's say that the Dakota Incident sells over 100,000 copies, right? And DC still chooses not to support this book or put out more centralized Black stories, then that's no longer on us as a consumer. That's no longer on us. We did our part. We did what we supposed to do. And I don't know the legalities between Milestone and DC. And someone put up something very interesting. And it was on Threads. And shout out to Wednesday Pool. He says, I'm convinced I was born in the wrong timeline. Send me to the universe where Milestone Media partnered with Image Comics instead of DC Comics. I didn't think about this, but I feel like we wouldn't be having this conversation if Milestone partnered up with Image Comics. I mean, I don't think we would have the same conversation. We wouldn't have the same type of fight. Now, I will say, like, in the early 90s, DC has treated Milestone well, right? To a point. And any documentary that you will see Dwayne McDuffie and one of the execs from DC bumping heads about a particular cover with Static. And they're like, nah, we're not going to promote premarital sex, but they're promoting safe sex, right? But it wasn't, there was a bumping of the heads. And I feel like that was the turning point in that relationship. And things kind of went south. And, it was a bumping of the heads. But with Image, the best artists in that time period all left Marvel at the same time. Went across the street to DC and they're like, we're not coming here either. We're creating our own thing. And Image Comics became number 2. I think Marvel was number 1, Image was number 2, DC was number 3 at that time. And if you could imagine Milestone being a part of Image Comics, we would not be having this conversation. And I'll be honest with you, the Dakotaverse was already a separate universe anyway. And so until we got the worlds collide, and then we got, some interaction between like characters. Another company, Wildstorm. Like Wildstorm going over to DC was a mistake. I mean, they got watered down, they got nerve, come on, interesting. Wildstorm should have stayed over there with Image. But what if Milestone went over to Image Comics, man? That would be something to see. Like, we would not be having this conversation. Like, we will be buying these books up to a point where it will force DC's hand, because sometimes DC and Image do partnerships and stuff like that. But again, I don't know the legalities of Milestone and DC. I don't know if it's like a clean break and you can completely remove yourself from DC. I'm not saying go out and do that, but I mean, it is frustrating. It's frustrating. And someone else posted something very interesting. It's been over 1,000 days since DC put out a book that was a black book. And not just a miniseries either. I'm talking like straight down the line. Like Mr. Terrific Year 1, I think was like maybe 5 issues, if I'm not mistaken. That was only 5 issues. It wasn't continued. It wasn't a continuation. It wasn't one of them situations. So, I mean, you got dozens of black characters that are out there that you can actually use for a continuing series. So it's very interesting though, man. Very interesting. Milestone and Image. Oh my gosh, man. Like, it was, man. Those two partnered up, man. It'd have been something to see. It'd have been something to see, man. I mean, you don't know what the future holds, but right now, at this time, obviously, the final orders, that's already cut off. Go to your LCS on next Wednesday and get you the New History of DC, Dakota Incident. If it so happen to be sold out, you tell the person behind that counter, I need more books. Can you order me more books, please? And let me know when they come in. And you keep that ball rolling. Like, you keep that thing going, and the number's going to show up eventually, man. I can't wait to see those numbers, because it's kind of like your voices need to be heard. Like, your dollars need to count. And this is where your dollars count. And because that leaking that they did, I feel like that was done on purpose by someone from DC. I feel like that was done on purpose. Out of all books you leaked that book. You leaked the Dakota Incident. And you had it sitting there for 2 hours, long enough for a pirated site or sites to grab that book and say, hey guys, come check this out. You ain't got to pay for the book. Nah. I think we had a time point where we can look past that and know the importance of this book and the stories that is in this book. And we're going to go out here and support it. Shout out to all the writers and all the artists of this book. We're going to do our part. We are definitely going to do our part. By every stretch of the metric, we are going to do our part. So, next thing we're going to talk about is Tubi. We're going to talk about Tubi, man. There's some news that came out that a treasure trove of Saturday morning cartoons is actually migrating over to Tubi. Now, if you're not familiar with Tubi, I don't know why you wouldn't be. But Tubi is no subscription app. It is a free app that have newer movies, old school movies, made for DVD movies. And lately I've been noticing there have been some crazy additions. Like, okay, first off, Centurions. Centurions is a Hanna-Barbera property. Then they added Pirates of Dark Water. Then they obviously they got the old Transformers, have the old G.I. Joes, and They have some other old school cartoons as well. So I'm like, are they slowly getting the Hanna-Barbera stuff? Are they slowly getting that? Like, I don't know what exactly is happening. And then it gets put out there in the atmosphere that, yeah, a treasure trove of Saturday morning cartoons is headed to Tubi. And it said Tubi has tons of classic cartoons starting March 1st, and they're all free. Now, I already told my fiance, man. I said when March 1st hit, I'm off the grid. I might be off the grid. And it says, get ready to relive those carefree Saturday mornings like never before, starting March 1st. A massive stash of beloved animated favorites from the Cartoon Network, Hanna-Barbera, and Warner Brothers vaults is landing on YouTube. No subscription fee required, with a treasure trove of classic cartoons finally streaming for free. Fans of all ages will have the chance to rediscover the shows that helped define their childhood or introduce a new generation to them, all in one place. While the price tag is $0, the real question is, which of your long lost favorites made the cut in its 100th title expansion? Now, shout out to Mark Scott, because he's the one who put this link out and brought this to my attention. Because yes, I did hear rumors about, Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers coming to Tubi, right? And he sent me the source as well for Geek Spin. And this is a golden opportunity, because to let you know, back in the day, especially if you you was born in 1990s, you got like the tail end of like Saturday morning cartoons. I was born in 85. But I grew up with Saturday morning cartoons. So the thing is, you get up on a Saturday morning and you watch all your cartoons, whether it's for Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, didn't matter. Eventually, the Saturday morning cartoon formula disappeared because people like tight asses at the LCC was like, nah, we need more educational television. We need all this. Like, take these cartoons away. Like, take away the blocker piece that parents had from us as kids, and we don't give you educational programming, even though we was getting education during the week. We didn't want to see that. We want to see our cartoons. That's what we want to see. It pisses us off. So Cartoon Network appeared, and Cartoon Network was a channel that had cartoons 24/7, 365. That was unprecedented, right? You had access to cartoons every freaking day. You know what time the shows come on. It was a schedule. Cartoon Network introduced Toonami, which introduced you to Dragon Ball Z and Ronin Warriors and Tenchi Muyo and Outlaw Star and Gundam Wing. That's Cartoon Network. Like, you credit Cartoon Network for all those things. Now, when Cartoon Network first showed up, they gave you like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like Quick Draw McGraw and Adam Ant. But this is some of the titles. It's like Abbott and Costello cartoons, The Addams Family from 1974, The Adventures of Batman. Now, I wonder if that's like the Super Friends Batman. I want to say that's what that is. Animaniacs is pulling up. Aquaman is pulling up. So, see, just right here, that lets me know that this is going to be like the Super Friends version of Batman, because they're going to have Aquaman as well. Astro and the Space Months, Adam Ant, The Batman the Brave and the Bold. I will tell you this, though. Some of these titles are on HBO Max. Like, some of these titles are on other streaming services. But there's titles like these. Beetlejuice. Let me tell you, I love me some Beetlejuice. Okay, I love the Beetlejuice animated series. I have a projector, like, in my bedroom, right? And on that projector, they actually have live TV. And one of the shows that randomly pops up is the Beetlejuice cartoon. But the cartoon series being on Tubi is easier access. Ben 10:05 is on there. Beware the Batman, Captain Caveman, and the Teen Angels. Definitely Tubi only. Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Now, we have covered Captain Planet on this channel, right? As a comic book format, because some of these cartoons that I'm talking about are comic books. Okay, so you can go out and read Captain Planet. That was just one of the books that I did cover. Codename Kids Next Door, and I didn't have the opportunity to watch Codename Kids Next Door, like growing up, because I was already in like junior high school. My focus was somewhere else, and just going from there. So also we have the completely mental misadventures of Ed Grimley. Now I did see that, right? I did see that like as a kid. Really didn't like it. Really didn't like it at all. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Goated. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Dastardly and Muttley and their Flying Machines. Dexter's Laboratory, one of my favorite cartoon series of all time. Cow and Chicken. Dragon's Lair, Duck Dodgers, Dukes of Hazzard animated series. Not interested. Ed, and Eddie. This right here. Ed, and Eddie will be on there. So if you see Dexter's Laboratory, you see Courage the Cowardly Dog, you damn sure going to see Ed and Eddie. That means somewhere right here, the Powerpuff Girls will be on here. Like Powerpuff Girls, everybody was watching that. Everybody was checking for Powerpuff Girls. Like everybody. Johnny Quest, the old school Johnny Quest. Justice League, which is on HBO Max. Justice League is on HBO Max. Crypto, the Super Dog, Legion of Superheroes, the Lunatics, Unleashed, Looney Tunes 3D. Now, Looney Tunes is already on Tubi, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the Mask animated series. I did watch glimpses of this. The New Adventures of Batman, the New Adventures of Gilligan, the Fred and Barney Show. So if you got Looney Tunes, I wonder if you got Tiny Toon Adventures right there on Tubi. And let's see. Now there's something else I wanted to see if Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show pop up. A pup named Scooby-Doo. Now I used to watch this. Now I wasn't really a big Scooby-Doo fan. Wasn't a big Scooby-Doo fan, but a pup named Scooby-Doo, I watched that one. I definitely watched that. Those times that I had cable in the house, the time that I have cable in the house, I used to watch a pup named Scooby-Doo, and I always was hungry for a hot dog. After that, I always wanted a hot dog after that. Quit Draw McGraw, like my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon, like old school cartoon. Now this right here, I've been looking for this. I've been looking for this for months. For months. The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Now, there's Johnny Quest, the old school one, and there's the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, where it's more mature. There are stakes. People did die in the old school one, but in this one, it also dived into the CGI a little bit, and obviously it's old school CGI, so it's not going to be like going into the virtual reality space. It's not going to be appealing to the eye right now. I'm going to just be honest with you. It's not going to be appealing to the eye at this point, but that's not the whole show. Sometimes they're going to virtual reality. Sometimes they do that, but for the most part, it's basically in regular animated format. Really, really, really good show. Ricochet Rabbit, never heard of that. Never heard of Ricochet Rabbit. The Super Globetrotters. Now I did watch that too. As a kid, the Super Friends is there. Teen Titans is there. Now I want to say Teen Titans is on HBO Max as well, because I just finished. Excuse me. I just finished watching Justice League Unlimited. So Teen Titans should be there. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, obviously Tom and Jerry. Top Cat, another one of my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon classics. And obviously there's a bunch of Yogi shows. I think so for me, it's going to be The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. It's going to be Beetlejuice, the animated series. It's going to be Tiny Toon Adventures. It's Animaniacs. And I want to say, oh, wait. I'm missing something. This right here, Freakazoid. Freakazoid is there too. So if Animaniacs is there, that means Freakazoid is there. And the Pinky and the Brain, that is on there as well. So not only do you have Cartoon Network, you got Warner Brothers, you got like you have the WB. So really, really good lineup for Tubi. And I mean, Tubi is in their bag, man. Tubi is in their bag. And one of our subscribers there asked, like, eventually you probably gonna have to pay a subscription fee. I don't think that's the case. I think if you look at Tubi in totality, what it's giving you is that they don't give you movies straight out the movie theater for the most part. They really don't. They do give you new movies, and most of the time, the movies that's on Tubi are on other subscription services too. And on those other subscription services, they don't have commercials. They don't have commercials. Tubi has commercials. Like Tubi has, okay, just to put it in perspective, Tubi has shows like Pacific Blue, Baywatch, Silk Stockings, like La Femme Nikita. Now I'm giving you USA shows, right? I'm giving you USA shows. They have Dallas. They have Knots Landing. They have all these 80s shows, early 90s shows, but it's with commercials. So Tubi is like your answer for you no longer having local television channels, even though we got like the digital antenna. You got a digital antenna. But Tubi is your access to those shows, which you can binge, but then they have commercials, right? And I know that is where Tubi's getting their revenue from, is the commercials. And this is for people that do not mind commercials either. And honestly and truly, I feel like Tubi will probably be the biggest app. And a lot of people give Tubi a lot of crap because, you know, there are a lot of made for DVD shows or movies that are on Tubi. And hey, this ain't a game no more. This is not a game. This is not a game. Tubi is cooking. Tubi is cooking, and with the shows that they have, and again, that is a opportunity for adults like us introduce our kids to these shows, because these shows is actually pretty good. These shows are really good, like the cartoon shows. And Carmen Sandiego, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, is on Tubi, not the game show, the cartoon series. Like that's on there, right? I remember showing my kid, he was like younger than, showing my kid that Carmen Sandiego, he was disinterested. That shit hurt my feelings. I ain't gonna hold you. That hurt my feelings. I was like, man, you don't want to learn about you don't learn your geography, cuz? You don't want to learn no history or nothing like that? That bothered me. But Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, I think he would actually like that. I think he would actually like The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. So, but yeah, I cannot wait for this. I can't wait for March 1st. I'm gonna be occupied. I'll be occupied. I'm definitely gonna be occupied. But yeah, you already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, because when you get that notification bell, you get to get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. Now, I do apologize because it seems like we was having a little bit of technical difficulty that was going on early on the show for whatever reason, and honestly, this never really happened. It's never really truly happened. But yeah, do apologize for that. I hope you guys enjoy the show. We do have some upcoming comics that we definitely going to be covering. Just to let you know, the Black Panther 60th anniversary special is out right now. So if you want to go out there and get that book, go out there and get that book. You know, eventually, yes, I will be talking about Cyclops issue number 1. I told you earlier in the show that I watched, I read Deadpool. It's okay. I'm gonna give it time to cook a little bit. But DC is on that bullshit. But we got to prove DC wrong here, and by proving DC wrong is through our dollars, and that is to get the Dakota incident, like the new Legion of Superheroes or Teen Titans. They advertise Static, and Static is not even on the front page. Damn, it's crazy work indeed. But yes, go out there and get the Dakota incident. Highly encourage you guys to get that book. And if you see stacks of it, like just sitting there in your LCS, buy those stacks. If you can, buy those stacks and then just give it to people, the kids that just want to read comic books. They just want to be interested in comics. And if they like those said characters, those characters that look like them, just take them to the LCS. Like this is community service. You could have done this. This is community service. Like, oh man, I want to read more of this. All right, let's take a trip to the comic book store. I got you. Don't worry about it. This is too easy. Easy work. Like, go out there and support, man. So, I'll see you guys next time. There will be new videos coming out very soon. So, we'll holler at you next time. Peace.